Hi Revelation Wellness. Today's class is going to be a little bit different. We're solely going to work on balance. But we're going to start with exercising our feet first because our feet are inevitably what is in contact with the floor. And then we're going to work on balancing exercises. So this is just strictly balance to help you at home so that if you have balance issues or you're afraid of falling, these are excellent exercises that you can do. So our first one is you're just going to stand tall. You can have socks on like the ladies behind me or no socks, is completely up to you. But we're going to take and wiggle our toes on the floor. So it's like you're playing the piano with your fingers kind of wiggling from the pinky toe towards the big toe. And seeing if you can begin to release one toe at a time. And then if you were going from the pinky toe to the big toe, see if you can switch that up and go from the big toe to the little toe. You can look at your feet if you need to. It's not going to help a whole lot, but you can surely look at them. Next one that we're going to do is we're going to roll to the outer edge of our feet and then roll to the inner edge. So when we roll to the outer edge, our knees are going to come apart, and then when we roll to the inner edge, the knees come together. So we're just starting to feel the foundation of our feet. Good, and now we're going to shift towards the front side of our foot so that our heel actually comes off the floor a little bit, and then to the heel. Okay, so you can just go forward, pause for a little bit, and then go back. And the next time that you go back onto your heel, maybe see if you can actually lift the balls of the feet up off the floor. But if you feel like you're going to fall backwards, don't feel like you have to go there. Good. Then we're going to shift to one foot, and we're going to tuck the toes under and then take the toes up. So just tuck them under as far as it works for you. For some, if you have a lot of arthritis in the feet, they may not tuck very far under, and that's perfectly fine. And then we're going to switch it to the other side. Then from here, we're going to switch back to the other foot, and we're just going to rock to the tiptoes and rock to the heels. So these, all that we're doing with our feet, these particular ones, you can always do these in a chair as well. And then we're going to keep this same foot, we're going to just take it right in front of us and see if you can lift that heel up off the floor. Maybe it's on the floor and you're going to circle your toes. So at any point in time with any of these balance movements that we're doing, feel free to hold on to a chair or a wall. And now we're going to go the other direction. And we're going to switch that to the other side. So rock to the tiptoes and then to the heel. And then we're going to set that heel in front or let it hover and circle the toes. And then we're going to go the other direction. Good, and then release it down. So from here, feet are going to be, toes are going to be straight ahead. We're going to come up onto the balls of our feet and then come down. So this is where you can start to use a wall or a chair if you need to stay balanced. And as you come up and down, you might notice that what happens to your feet is you kind of roll to the pinky toe and your knees splay apart. So as you lift up, you want to press down through the big toe. You might feel a little bit of burning that's happening in the backs of the legs, and that's lactic acid that's building up. So if you need to, feel free to take a break, take a few breaths, and then come back into this. With the next one, lift up and see if you can hold it. Okay, so really press down through the ball of the big toe. And then we're going to take it down. We're going to shift our weight over towards one leg. We're going to take the other knee and begin to bring it up. Okay? So you can take and we're just going to tap the toes down and then bring that knee right back up. So moving nice and slow. And then eventually we're going to lift this knee up and see if you can bring it level. And you don't have to. and then just begin to hold. So as you hold, think of standing up nice and tall, shoulders are relaxed. You are free to just stay here, or if you want to, add a little bend of the knee, a little bit of motion here. And then we'll take it down. We're basically going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So slowly, you're going to take that knee up and tapping it down. One of the things that inevitably comes up for people when it has to do with balancing is this fear of falling. And in Proverbs 3:5, we read about trusting in the Lord. And so as you begin to work on these balance exercises, really begin to trust in yourself. Trust in your body, trust in the fact that you're strong and you're going to stay upward. And then also begin to just really have trust in God that no matter what, He's going to uphold you. So we're going to keep it here, and then we're going to just hold for a moment here. And then begin to add that hinge. Alright, and then we're going to take it down. So next one we're going to do is we're going to bend the knee and bring the foot behind us. Okay, so just holding here. And then we're going to add a little bit of movement again. And anytime you add movement, it becomes a lot more challenging. So keeping the knee bent, we're going to lift it up, and then we're going to take and press that heel back. So this standing foot, notice if you keep rolling to the outside of that foot, and if you do, you need to press down more through the inner part of your foot. Good, we're going to keep this leg back behind us now, and see if you can add a little bit of swing of the arms. Or maybe you just swing one arm if you're holding on to the wall or holding on to a chair. Good, and then let's release. Let's take it to the other side. So pressing that foot down into the floor, we'll take and bend it behind us. Good, so standing up nice and tall, and then let's start to add that little bit of movement. So this leg, this standing leg, might start to get a little bit achy, and you might feel it on the outside, and that's where you should feel it. That means these muscles are working to keep your pelvis stable. Good, let's take it behind us now, and let's swing the arms a little. Good, and then release down for a second here. So we're just going to stretch out our legs for a moment. So you're going to bend your knees and just come down towards your toes. So you might touch the floor, your hands might be right on your shins or your knees, it doesn't really matter, but just stretching out the backs of the legs a little. And then you're going to slowly walk the hands upward, making sure that you don't get lightheaded as you go. Good, so as you stand back up tall, we're going to take one foot in front of us. Okay, so from here, we're going to take and lift these toes up off the ground and then tap them down. So again, the higher that you bring your leg, the more motion that you do, the harder it is to stay balanced. So you can choose how far you want to lift this leg up. Good, and now once it's lifted, take and pull the toes back and then point. Good, and then release it down. Let's take it other side. So pointing the toe, take and lift up and down. So what's important here as you're standing is that you're not hunched forward, you're not leaning forward, but your shoulders are relaxed. And imagine like you have a book on the top of your head and you're trying to press that book up towards the ceiling. Good, and now we're going to keep that leg lifted. We're going to pull the toes back and point. And then we'll take it down. From here, we're going to turn this leg out to the side. It's basically tree pose in yoga. So your toes might be on the floor, or if you can, take the sole of your foot and place it onto the other leg. And so from here, if you can, maybe you do one arm and lift it up. Or if you can, maybe you can do both arms and seeing if you can stay balanced as you begin to add some movement to it. Good. Letting the arms come down, take and just begin to pivot this knee forward and just keep it right there. So holding, now we're going to add movement of the head. So we're going to see if you can take your gaze upward and then slowly take your gaze downward. And you're going to notice that the moment you start to move your gaze, it becomes a lot more challenging. And then head coming straight center, you can let that foot come down. Opposite, again, heel either comes in or the sole of your foot comes towards the standing leg. So standing up tall, and then when you're ready, moving either one hand or both hands as you reach up. Now the next time that the arms come downward, you're going to pivot this knee forward and then keep that lifted. And this time, instead of looking up and down, we're going to turn our head to one side and then to the other side. Good, and then release it down. All right, we're going to take one arm, we're going to reach it up, and we're going to start to slide the other fingers down towards our knee. And as you do that, let your hip begin to pop out. So we're stretching the whole side of the body down into this side hip that we were just working. Good, and then we're going to come up, we're going to start to slide the other way. And then coming back up. Let's reach both hands up towards the ceiling. Bend the knees here as you come down towards the feet. And then we'll take and come all the way back up. We're going to do a stretch for the front sides of the leg because sometimes they get tired for us. So this one is probably one where you will need a wall, and I'm going to grab one as well. So you're going to take, and one foot's going to stay on the floor, other one you're going to grab your ankle. And so if you can't quite reach your ankle, you have the option of grabbing your pants leg or getting a towel or something to wrap around it. But you're going to allow this knee to come down towards the floor. And you're going to try to bring your knees towards one another and then stand up nice and tall. So you can hold it for about 10 to 15 seconds. And then let's take and switch other side. So it's important here that this knee comes towards the standing leg because inevitably it wants to go out. You also notice that it probably wants to come forward. So they come towards each other and behind a little bit, and then standing up nice and tall, making sure that you're not pushing your ribs forward, but that you're up and lengthened here. Good, and then release it down. So we're just going to do two more things to do with balance. So again, rock up onto the ball of the foot, take and hold there. And then take it back down. Good. From here, roll to the outer edge. Roll to the inner edge. And then feel your weight even from the front side of your foot to the back side, from side to side. So standing up really tall here. Good. We're going to end with a couple of deep breaths. So take a big breath, reach it all the way up. And exhale, take it all the way down. Good. Take it back up. And release it down. Thank you for joining us for some balancing exercises. Balancing is so critical because falling is such an integral part of aging. And it oftentimes leads in hospitalization or surgeries. And so we hope that you will take the time to really practice on balance. And it doesn't have to be something that you have to spend a lot of time in, but that you would take 1 to 2 minutes every day just to practice on standing on one leg and standing up tall. So thank you for joining us.